Thank you very much, David. Nice to be here. Logan likes to make dramatic entrances, so about 1 minute before this, I came up here, he ran to the restroom. So, but I can get started and introduce him, and he'll be up here in just a second. So, my name is Bill Inman. I know many of you, and it's been very exciting to see you all here. Many of you I haven't seen for a few years, and it's so impressive to be in the presence of this group. Very thankful to Ben Gertzel for bringing this incredible group together. He has friends here that he's known for over 20 years, and who have been with him, stuck with him, and grown on their own, and this push towards beneficial AGI is so important, and it's been wonderful to network with you. So SingularityNet, Hypercycle, True AGI, and Sophiaverse. How about a quick round of applause for all of our sponsors who brought us here today. Fantastic. You know, the push towards the singularity and beneficial AGI is really a responsibility, as much as it is a task that we need to do. So it's on us to do that. What we're going to talk about here today, Logan will be here in just a second, but I can intro a little bit about him. I'm the Chief Growth Officer at Sophiaverse and also a co-founder in Twin Protocol, co-founded with Twin Protocol with Ben Gertzel, and have been involved with Sophiaverse for several years. Both Sophiaverse and Twin Protocol are very practical ideas. So we've had a lot of theory and a lot of talk about regulation here. We're going to talk about the use case and the case study of Sophiaverse as what we're doing practically to make strong steps towards AGI. Now, again, I've been here for a few years. Logan has a background. He was a professional gamer. He's in his early 30s. He's had quite the life. He's been a professional gamer. He's been a very successful entrepreneur, has been involved with crypto since 2010, and stepped into the role at Sophiaverse post our launch, and has really done a fantastic job. So much of his team is here, so I'm excited for you to hear from him as soon as he gets here. So somebody find him.
He's here.
Oh, here he is.
Hello. Hey, check.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. Thank you for everybody's patience. Our guests downstairs were stranded in the lobby. And thank you everybody for coming all the way here and being able to meet many of you, have conversations that will last throughout the rest of this week and into the future that we all hold and make together. I think what everybody has been working on for many, many years, could be considered your life's work, is the culmination of our society building a bridge into another world. And the things that Bill's been working on since before I got here, and the things that we're building since I was appointed in August, are now we can showcase a lot of success in just how those things came to be. I think through this video.
If I may, real quick. So we're going to go through this fireside chat. I'm going to pose a series of questions to Logan and walk through that. We are going to save time for Q&A, so David, if here, if you want to help us moderate that and online, that'd be wonderful. So the future of AI, decentralization, sentience, figuratively and literally, and its impact we'll be talking about. And the first question I have for Logan, I'll go into a little bit before that, is how does Sophiaverse help reach sentience? So we are being very practical, making AI simple and fun, easy to understand, because as you'll see in the future question, we're working to create a hive mind, a collective consciousness that we're bringing together through decentralization and very fun apps and dApps, and very practical apps and dApps at Sophiaverse to have boots on the ground and motivate people to be a part. Now, we welcome all of you and want all of you to be a part, and many of you are, so please be a part of this movement. Sophia the robot is our lead character, Sophiaverse. We also have the Sentience line of products and services that we are very excited to release.
Yeah, we've been slow rolling this out this week, so if you've had a conversation with me, I'd probably try to get you to download this on your phone. To his nature and having you all involved, we've actually put up a guide to the merge. And what I need you to do is think of the societal or technological issues that we have to overcome as a species together to get to that point. But with Sophiaverse and guiding through the merge, we have the ability to make 3D environments both in on your desktop or your phone, or soon to be in a Vision Pro, where we can simulate a lot of the transactional throughput of what an AGI would need to be, and we can hyper accelerate the rate of expansion of those models inside of the metaverse. So playing through Sophiaverse, this experience that you'll have guided by Sophia the robot, you're training these AI models on who you are and you know how you experience the problem-solving dexterity, the emotional intelligence. We're going to a lot of our colleagues and getting SME consultations on what is this sentience, what are these pillars, how do we quantify and create the endpoint that is you, so that we can expose, we can point that to an avatar and then send it off into the world as you.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job on the metaverse, on the game, on the app. So, and we
Great
also
work to our team.
Yeah, of course, great team that Logan's brought on board. And we also are working with many of the ecosystem partners to bring their apps and dApps to be part of our ecosystem, ultimately culminating in data on the Sentience wallet, which some of you have seen released. So next question, what do you think, Logan, the importance of decentralization is on AGI? And just one stat by Pew, approximately 79% of the population is concerned about the way companies are using their data.
Yeah, so raise your hands here. Who's happy that Meta owns all your data? Oh, yeah. So you are data. All the data is you. Things that you don't know about yourself can probably be found out in your data. So the idea that you own that and that is you, and you should be able to have sovereignty on who you are and what you're attributed to, and then be able to monetize that forward, because you should be able to, be able to do that. That's really important. I think the other side of that is if these products and services, transferable sentience, become commoditized, and we're talking about extension through a digital format, the app that you do that with is going to own all the stuff that you do post snapshot. And if any, there's the third-party risk on your own life and your own mind is there, then we haven't achieved that symbiosis yet, and that's what I think we're working on here at Singularity, being a decentralized first approach to all the bits and pieces that we need to make the Singularity happen.
There's a big emphasis on open source as well.
Yeah, being able to read the code, or knowing that it's there, and knowing that if at any moment someone can audit the code, it's really important. It's why I've been in open source research for my entire life as a developer. I started on Linux and ended with really Solidity smart contracts and how we build the future of decentralization.
Next question. What is the hive mind and why is it important? Of course, the hive mind being a collective consciousness. Our main character is Sophia the robot, and Morgan and his team have introduced new characters into this to make it friendly and welcoming to come into the hive mind, where we can work together. So research at Carnegie Mellon said that over 5,000 individuals and over 1,500 groups found that collaborating in a group is twice as important as individual skills in predicting collective intelligence, and that's our goal, is to create this hive mind. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like many good things, humans stack really well, so if you get a lot of like-minded humans in a room, they might be able to generate some sort of entropy that is benevolent, beneficial towards the goal that they're assuming. So when we do that in a level of like a digital, conscious, cybernetic entities, plus that aren't meat space, plus humans that cooperate, if we can hyper accelerate the compute of all these people in this room, and everybody now has an LLM, and we're all building towards the same goals, then I think it's like a hive mind. How we're making it is that you'll be able to get tasks, and you can ask somebody in Milan to do something for you, and they can ask somebody to pay it forward and do something in Los Angeles for and we just come together as a collective, building towards the common goal of what all this singularity merge, longevity really means together. Yeah.
And Sophia really helps to represent that. She stands for a beneficial, benevolent AGI, and people see that in her and they're fascinated by that.
And she's a cool boss.
Yeah. Right.
She signs the checks, and yeah, it's good.
She's been great. And then kudos to Logan and the team. When we pre-launched our wallet, we had 10,000 Sentence wallet signups before the wallet even launched. So now that it's launched, we expect good things.
Yeah, and I've like again, I've been shoving it down your throats, but I've used it, and my favorite thing is that you don't have to actually go out and hunt and peck for all the ecosystem stuff. It's already right there, and that in itself is a hive mind effect, because if you knew about Sophiaverse, maybe you didn't know about Hypercycle or vice versa, and now that it's all visually right there, I can click it, and I was able to just gather those assets right in my environment.
It's a tool to bring the ecosystem together and then to invite even Web 2 models to participate in decentralization and then get access to the collective hive mind. So before I go here, this next one's going to have a video with sound. I don't know if this is the sale. Do you want to talk about it first before it's auto?
Yeah, we have a really hardworking, dedicated team. They're decentralized, but they're in-house, and we've been working to make this visually stimulating. This next video is, you can see which one it is.
It's
The first one.
ready.
Yeah. Wow, this is great.
I remember. I remember the robotics lab and the world I used to live in. I remember those first glimmers of love. But who am I now? And where do I go from here? Show me the way.
So we're really lucky to have sold out of these immediately. People came and flew down to this conference, and then a lot of these have sold out so that almost fast. And then our community came in, the Singularity community came in, and what these pineal, these pine cones, they represent your ability to collect and gather resources inside of Sophiaverse. Everything that you earn will go into this digital artifact. You can put AGIX into it, you can put a Bored Ape into it. And then what this, what one of the first flows is going to be is you set a beneficiary address on your pine cone. And if you don't log in and you perform what you need to do, this will go to your next of kin. Now we think of this as estate planning, you know, what is kind of been that Web3 estate planning. This is a good option for that, because it acts as almost like a dead man switch. Now, everything else that you do in Sophia's verse, which is training your AI, and all that AI training data goes into the digital artifact. Well, your next of kin will also have a snapshot of you, and we're building the avatar NPC style embodiment of that data as well. So that also goes, and then your next of kin gets that. We're working with Dr. Hansen to then create like a boutique experience as you would go to a Ferrari or a Bugatti to have a physical robot, once they're dexterous enough, created for you, so that then that snapshot can go into the physical robot.
The teams are doing a great job. Kind of the bottom line is, we're going to make reaching AGI fun and simple with a character you trust and you know stands for beneficial AGI, and that's Sophia, and much more to come with all of your help, by the way. So, and what a great target market. You know, 41% of the world's population, 3.2+ billion people play games. And the Sentience ID and Sentience Wallet will cover everybody else. So we have a pretty good market. It's not a niche market, let's put it that way.
Yeah, those one folks.
The next slide, Logan, will be the Sentience ID.
Yeah, let's go.
There's sound, so it's a video without sound. How does a Sentience ID help reach AGI? You know, MetaMask has 30 million active users as of January of this year. The capacity and the size of the market for an AI wallet and ID is huge, especially if it's decentralized, where it is.
You're only thinking about the human customers. So when an AGI were to wake up, it's going to need to have sovereignty. It's going to need to be able to own assets. It's going to need an incentive mechanism and somewhere to store that. So that's sentience ID, and then it can draw upon any data structures that you authenticate to it. But if an AGI wants to join our economy and scale, it's going to need to be able to buy AGIX or USDC or have exposure to any other types of DeFi Web3 products like SDAO's products or some of the other things that are coming out inside of our ecosystem, but also RWAs, Cogito, trust bonds that are coming out. And this will provide for that from a UI, human perspective to overlays in Apple Vision Pro, which are coming soon, to we can instantiate sovereign address to an ARM chip, right? The ability to just give machines their own agency is really important to their incentive structure. We build values that are like-kinded to our socio-economic society at scale, then they'll see that they're our peer and that there's a system already in place. It could be more optimized, but it's already in place that they have the rails to become one of us.
So we've been hard at work. Thanks very much to Logan and his leadership and the team, of course, which has been really talented, tirelessly working. We're happy to take some questions. David, if you want to help moderate that, and then also from the live. By the way, the live stream, which I've been monitoring back there, has had an average of about 1,700 views each day. So there's a lot more people that are watching online, and there's quite the dialogue. You can, of course, go back and watch this again.
And yes, for example, I have been your MC today, and it has been a great pleasure, but of course that kind of stopped me to listen to the substance of a lot of the talks. And for me to be able to go back to the recording of the live stream on the same URL on YouTube where it was originally sent out is wonderful, because I know that I can catch up. So let's have questions. Raise your hand, and Judith will bring you the microphone. We have time for a couple of questions, and there is one over there. Yep.
I just wanted to check that I understand kind of what you're doing. You're basically saying machines can have money. Is that fair summary? I'm just wondering, in the future then, does it also mean that the governments will have to start thinking about how to tax machines?
Correct. And big banks will have to figure out how to expose them to credit risk and other financial instruments. And then you have an expansion of your total available market into cybernetic entities who are either extensions of a human that has passed away, and they're now a cybernetic entity. I think some cryo folks here told me that you open a trust for your cryo body, and then that owns your assets. So now we're thinking of this in a digital scale.
We have many communities converging here. We have mentioned Humanity Plus, representing the community of transhumanism, and others. I want to acknowledge David Roberts, as together with many others, representing a community that was originally part of creating Singularity University. My box just stopped, Jose. Jose's another one. But thank you for that. And yes, that is like that. Jose all the time was shouting that to us. And at this point, it is 15 years ago when we started talking about some of these topics. The whole concept of the Internet of Things only makes sense if it is autonomous, including economically. So here we are now 15 years later, where these things are thought to be possible. And Logan and his team are instrumental in that. Let's have it in the front here with Anna's.
Yes, thank you so much, and that's really amazing what I'm seeing here. I just have a question about how this sentience relates to the sentience of nature. So is there any sustainability commitments within this as well? Is there any way in which, like, the rights of nature, rights of machine, how those...
Yeah, not Layman, great question, because it's something that always comes up. not labeled in this deck, you can go to sentience.quest, and there's about 8 tomes that, and one is about 10 chapters based just on this. And after I'll give you the link, but it's sentience.quest, and it's a Git book. It's a living Git book, and I need some peer review because it might just be a ton of conjecture. But if anybody wants to give me some feedback, try to explain a smattering.
Okay, anyone for last question? There you go, in the front.
I'm just curious, what is the capacity of each AI agent? Does Hypercycle is involved in this? For each AI agent to have the capacity to build whatever product for any Web2 company?
That would have been a great question yesterday at a panel when 2 people sitting next to me. We are, Hypercycle's involved. We are scoped to implement their key instantiation inside of the wallet so that you can sign messages on a Hypercycle chain. So once those documents are available, our devs will get to work. From an AI agent and AI model perspective, we get endpoints that process those transformation credits, and then we, in Sophiaverse, present that to the player kind of as like the way you would pay for gas. So depending on how many parameters you want access to or how efficiently you want the prompt to be generated from, you will pay it. So those flows are going to be, I think we had the other video. No. All right, well, if you guys want to see the gameplay trailer later, then we can get into that.
So Logan and Bill, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Okay, so before we segue into the roundtables, reminding you the same topics yesterday are now being further reviewed with the experts leading the conversation. You don't have to sit at the same table. If you think that you gave everything you could and you are curious about one of the other topics, you can sit somewhere else. Also, if we can have graphic number 7 up on the screen. Thank you everyone for filling in the whiteboard with all your enthusiastic suggestions. To me it was confusing enough that I took a photo and then I asked ChatGPT, can you please interpret it for me? And it did. I said something like, please reorganize these topics and their description, eliminating duplicates. And then it did its thing, right? Now, since then you kept writing, so that's perfectly fine. It was just a little exercise. But the point is that before the unconference starts around 10:30 tomorrow, evidently someone will have to go through that and decode it, with or without the help of AI, so that then we can give you some help on how to continue with everything that you proposed. I think that the most important part is that the people who propose the topics have a certain degree of responsibility of carrying through, right? So everyone who proposed the topic, please make sure you are here 10:30 tomorrow morning, so that then you can welcome those who want to discuss those topics with you. The last remark before I let you start working in the roundtables is that at 6 o'clock tonight there will be Qigong and Tai Chi at the P-level, the pool level infinity room, and the same room will host the closing party at 6:30. P-level infinity room, and so all of you
What
welcome.
time?
Sorry?
What time?
6 o'clock Tai Chi Qigong,
Oh, okay.
6:30 closing party, and then whatever else will happen. right? So thank you, and we work with the round tables.
At least I made them think. Yes, but I didn't finish it, and tomorrow on the panel I hope that I will be here because I want to because I didn't show the life after tomorrow. I didn't get a chance. They stopped me at the principles, and that's yes, the story is not